do you need in life? Do you need provision? Do you need protection? Do you need direction? Do you need wisdom? Do you need justice? Do you need strength? Do you need peace? Do you need joy? Do you need love? Do you know all those things are found in one person? God. God is all those things. Whatever it is that a human being needs, God is already in who He is. Now, Moses was in a very difficult situation. God called him to go back to Egypt, where he was a fugitive and a condemned man, to go back to Egypt, challenge Pharaoh to let God's people go because they had been in slavery to Pharaoh for hundreds of years. This was an impossible task. And Moses asked a legitimate question. He says, well, when the people ask, who am I to say that I am able to do such things? Moses says in verse 13 of Exodus 3, indeed, when I come to the children of Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they say to me, well, what's his name? What shall I say to you? They had lots of gods in Egypt. So what's this God you're bringing to us? God says to Moses, verse 14, I am who I am. And he said, thus shall you say to the children of Israel, I am has sent me to you. That's a very powerful name of God. It's the name Yahweh. It's often transliterated as Jehovah. In your Bible, it's all capital letter Lord, and it means I am. Yahweh. I am. It's the most popular name of the Old Testament, used over 6,000 times. It's the most personal name. God says, I am. And it's the most sacred name. Jews wouldn't speak it. They were afraid to write it. It was the most sacred name of God. Now, when God says, I am, He's saying that He's eternal. I am, and I've always been, and I always will be. I'm self-existent. I didn't have a beginning, or I won't have an end. I am continuously. He's self-sufficient. I didn't come from anywhere. I have always been. I am. You know, where did this universe come from? Well, where did God come from? God is the great uncaused cause. God has always been. God has always been. I am. He's independent. I am with or without you. I've always been. God says, I am. I'm a constant source of whatever is needed. As I said, do you need peace? God says in His Word that He is peace. Do you need hope? He's the God of all hope. Do you need life? Life comes from Yahweh. Do you need light? Light comes from God. Do you need love? Love flows from God. God is the God of infinite strength. He can be your protection, your provision, your wisdom. God is power. You need power to say no to sin. You need power to stand up to the enemy. God says, I am. He's grace, forgiveness, mercy. He is truth. He is justice. He is comfort. God says, I am. God is freedom, and God is our salvation. What do you need today from God? Whatever it is, God is, because God is I am. You can go to God, and you can trust God, and you can believe God, and you can depend upon God. And one day in heaven, we will experience the fullness of God, the fullness of all that He is, this God who is the great I am.